Hello friends, today our topic is dual simplex method. In the previous video lecture already we have discussed how to convert a primal LPP into the dual or into its dual. Now today our topic is dual simplex method. Now the method follow the near about same algorithm like the simplex method. Now what are the steps of dual simplex method? So before we start with any problem, at first look at the first step. First, convert the minimization LPP. First, convert the minimization LPP into maximization LPP form. So that means if we have any minimization LPP, that means suppose we have a minimization Z, then we have to transform it into the maximization LPP. So that is our first step. Now the second step, that means convert the greater than equal to type inequalities into less than equal to. So that means it has to be in the canonical form. And we can do it by simply multiplying by -1. As all the constant now using the less than equal to, so that means we have to introduce the slack variables. So introduce slack variables in the constants of the given problem and obtain an initial basic solution. Now up to that, the first step, second step and third step, we are proceeding with a given problem. Then we will proceed to the step 4 or the next steps. Suppose that is our problem. Using dual simplex method to solve the following LPP, which has been given as minimum Z. That is, minimum Z is equal to 3x1 plus x2 subject to first constant x1 plus x2 greater than equal to 1, second constant 2x1 plus 3x2 greater than equal to 2, and the last constant, sorry, that is not a constant, that is a basic variables, x1 comma x2 greater than equal to 0. So the two constants has been given as in the form greater than equal to. So according to the first step, we have to transform the minimum Z into the maximization Z or the maximization LPP. So in our first step, we are transforming it into from minimum Z to maximization Z1, as that is plus 3. So we are writing it as -3. That is plus x2, that means minus x2. So that is we are transforming it into a maximization Z1. Then the second step, where already we have to say that if there are some greater than equal to constant, we have to transform it into less than equal to. So the first constant, that is plus x1 plus x2 greater than equal to 1, we are transforming it into minus x1 minus x2 less than equal to -1. For the second constant, that is plus 2x1 plus 3x2 greater than equal to 2, we are transforming it into minus 2x1 minus 3x2 less than equal to -2. As usual, the basic variables x1 and x2 are greater than equal to 0. we convert the greater than equal to type inequalities into less than equal to type by multiplying by -1. So according to the third step, as all the constants are now in the less than equal to, we have to introduce the slack variables. Two constants are there, so we are introducing two slack variables, number 1 S1, number 2 are S2. So the standard LPP is forming like maximum of Z1 is equal to -3x1 -3x2 plus, for the slack variable, that is 0 as the coefficient, and for the second slack variable 0 as the coefficient. Now subject to -x1 -x2 plus S1, that S1 is for the first constant, and -2x1 -3x2 plus, for the second constant we have introduced the slack variable S2. So now there are four variables, x1, x2, s1 and s2, all are greater than equal to 0. So that is our step 3. Yet now another one, we have to find the initial basic feasible solution. Here we are considering x1 and x2 as equal to 0. So if we consider here x1 as 0, x2 as 0, so we are getting s1 as -1. If we consider x1 equal to 0, x2 is equal to 0, then s2 is equal to -2. And finally, the result of maximum Z1 is equal to 0. So we are proceeding to the simplex table. So once again we are reviewing the step 1, 2 and 3. That is, first convert the minimization LPP into maximization if it is given in the minimization form, then convert the greater than equal to type of inequalities into in the constants into less than equal to type, and introduce the slack variables and obtain the initial basic solution. Okay, so next we have to draw the simplex table. Just the LPP is here. We are considering CB. Next one is B for the variables, XB, that is for the basic feasible solutions, and the four variables x1, x2, s1 and s2. That one is the CJ. Just comparing, that is from the objective function. For x1 the coefficient is -3, so it is written here. For the variable x2, that is -1, so it is written here. For the s1 the coefficient 0, for the s2 the coefficient 0, so those are written here. For the variable b, s1 and s2 are the two variables, so that has been kept here. Those are the basic feasible solution of s1 and s2 respectively. So for s1 that is -1, for s2 that is -2. The CV are, the coefficient is 0, the coefficient is 0, so it has been written here. And finally the first row indicates the first constant. For x1 the coefficient is -1, For x2 the coefficient is -1. For s1 the coefficient is +1. There is no s2, so that means the coefficient of s2 here, that is 0. So we can write -1, -1, sorry, -1, -1, 1 and 0. For the second row, the coefficient of x1 is equal to -2, the coefficient of x2 is equal to -3, the coefficient of s1 here must be 0, and for s2 that is +1. So we are writing it here in the table. For x1 that is -2, for x2 that is -3, for s1 0, and for s2 that is 1. So at that moment we proceed to the calculation. At first we have to find out the Zj. What is Zj? Now Zj is equal to 0 into -1 plus 0 into -2. So the result is 0. Like that, 0 into -1 plus 0 into -2, that one is 0. For the next one, 0 into -1 plus 0 into -2, 0. As both are 0 in the CB, all the result of Zj must be 0. Now the next one, that is Zj minus Cj. What is Zj minus Cj? Here we cannot find anything. For the first one, that is 0 minus -3. That means that one minus -3. So the result is 3. 0 minus -1. So the result is 1. 0 minus 0, that one is 0. And 0 minus 0, that one is 0. Now memorize the simplex method. In the simplex method, if all the Zj minus Cj are greater than equal to 0, that means positive. Simplex method ends. Simplex method ends here, and we can find the basic feasible solution. But in the dual simplex, that is not the case. Once again, in the simplex method, at first we consider which value is the most minimum in the case of Zj minus Cj. When we are using the simplex method, then we are considering which is the most negative in Zj minus Cj. But so in the simplex table, which has the most negative value in Zj minus Cj, we consider that variable as the incoming vector. Then we consider the outgoing vector. But in the dual simplex method, that is not the case. So yet now, up to that, we have found Zj minus Cj all are positive, +3, +1, 0 and 0. So next we proceed to the step 4. Test the nature of Zj minus Cj in the starting table. Number 1 case, if all Zj minus Cj and xb are non-negative, then an optimal basic feasible solution has been obtained. Once again, if all Zj minus Cj and xb are non-negative, that means positive. Let's check in the table, is it our case? So we proceed to the table and we check here. Zj minus Cj plus all are non-negative, that means positive, but in the case of xb those are not non-negative. -1 and -2, those are negative, so that is not our case. So let's check the second case. In the second, if all Zj minus Cj are non-negative, that is true, and at least one basic variable xb is negative, then go to step 5. In that table, in our table, all the Zj minus Cj are greater than equal to 0, but all the xb are less than equal to 0. Number 1 -1, number 2 -2 for both. So at least one, that means that is our case. So we have to proceed to the step 5. Select the most negative xb, and that should be our outgoing vector, and we are saying it as also a leaving vector and denoting it as xr. So that is our case. So we proceed to the next into the table. So that means all the Zj minus Cj are positive, but both the xb are negative. So which one is the most negative? Na -2. So we are considering S2 as our outgoing vector or leaving vector. So in the normal simplex method, first the incoming vector occurs, then the outgoing vector occurs. But here at first we are choosing the leaving vector or the outgoing vector. So that is the row for S2 is our for leaving vector. So next proceed to the step 6. Test the nature of XR. If all XR are non-negative, then there does not exist any feasible solution. As usual, that must not be our case, because XR, the leaving vector, is -2 or S2. So that is not our case. The second case, if at least one XR is negative, that means that is the negative case. Then compute maximum of Zj minus Cj divided by Xi, where Xi less than 0. Where Xi less than 0. Now what is Xi? So that is our leaving vector. So we have to choose the incoming vector. So we use the step 2, particularly the rule 2. Maximization of Zj minus Cj divided by Xi, where Xi less than 0. Now what is this? That is our Zj minus Cj, and according to the, as that is our key row, so we are dividing it by -3. That is our, sorry, for 3 that is -2. So that is our Xi, as that is minus or negative or Xi less than 0, then we are considering it. So the first one is 3 by -2. 3 by -2. For the second one, zj minus cj 1 divided by x2, that means minus 3, as it is negative, so that is our 1 by minus 3. Third one, zj minus c0 0 by 0, that is not negative, so we are not considering that one. Fourth one, 0 by 1, that is also positive, so we are not considering it. So only consideration are 3 by minus 2 and 1 by minus 3. And which one is maximum? Now minus 1 by 3. So we are choosing that column as our key column. And the crossing value, intersection value of key row and key column are minus 3, and that one is known as our key element. So once again, if we memorize the thing, all the zj minus cj must be positive. We have to choose the xb, which one is the most minimum but mostly or must be non-negative. So in that case, that is minus 2, so we are choosing that row as our key row. Then we are choosing it as outgoing vector or leaving vector. Then we have to choose the incoming vector in the way zj minus cj divided by the non-negative element zj minus cj non-negative element, and among them which one is maximum we are considering it, and that must be our key column. So here x2 has been selected as incoming vector. Okay, so next we proceed to the next table. As usual in the simplex, what happens now, which one is our key row, we divide each and every element in that key row by the key element, and here also happens the same. That means that one, first one is the minus 2 and key element is minus 3. So first happening that minus 2 divided by minus 3, so that is 2 by 3, that one is here. Second one, minus 2 by minus 3, 2 by 3, minus 3 by minus 3, 1, 0 by minus 3, 0, 1 divided by minus 3, so the result is minus 1 by 3. And what to do for the other rows? No, we have to find a key ratio. Particularly we have to calculate the value that one as 0. So for that row, key row is minus 1 divided by minus 3. So that one is minus 1 divided by minus 3, and that one is 1 by 3. Then suppose we have to find out that cell value. That one here is given minus 1. Here is given minus 2. So here we are doing like that, minus 1 minus 2 into 1 by 3. Sorry, that must be minus 1 minus of minus 2 is here. There was minus 2. So that one is minus 1 plus 2 by 3. So the result is here minus 1 by 3, and that one is the minus 1 by 3. For the next one, the same thing, minus 1 and minus 2 there, so that one is minus 1 by 3. That is must be 0, and 0 is here. That one was 1, so 1 minus 0 into key ratio 1 by 3, so the result is 1. Next one, 0 minus, there was plus 1 into key ratio, so the result is minus 1 by 3, and that one is here. Next, S2 is the outgoing vector and x2 is the incoming vector. So we write x2 in place of S2 here. According to the objective function, the x2 coefficient was minus 1. So we are writing in place of CD that one, for S1 the coefficient 0 and for x2 that is minus 1, and those are the xb. Now we have to find out the zj. 0 into minus 1 by 3, that must be 0, plus minus 1 into 2 by 3, so the result is minus 2 by 3. Once again, 0 into minus 1 by 3 plus minus 1 into 2 by 3, minus 2 by 3, 0 into 0 plus minus 1 into 1, minus 1, 0 into 1, 0 plus minus 1 into 0, that is 0, 0 into minus 1 by 3, 0, that means plus minus 1 into minus 1 by 3, result is 1 by 3. Next we have to find out zj minus cj. So minus 2 by 3, that one cj was minus 3. So minus 2 by 3 minus 3, the result is, that was minus, the result is here 7 by 3. So that one written here. Next one, minus 1. So minus 1, and for x2 that was minus 1. So the result is 0 here. 0, S1's coefficient was 0. So 0 minus 0, that is 0. And finally 1 by 3 minus 0 is equal to 0. Just according to the Cj here. If we want, we are writing once more that one, that is minus 1 minus minus 1, 0 minus 0, 1 by 3 minus 0. So those are the zj minus cj. Now according to the step 4, all the zj minus cj are positive. So we have to look after xb. Now there are two xb, that one is plus, but at least one non-negative, and that is exist. So that is our minus non-negative. So that must be our outgoing or leaving vector. So at that moment the leaving vector is S1, and that row is becoming our key row. Next we have to find out the incoming vector, and for that what we have to do? Now we have to find out the maximum of zj minus cj divided by xi, where all the xi are negative. So here 7 by 3, that is our key row. So that means we have to calculate 7 by 3 minus 1 by 3, that one. For the second one, 0 by 0, that is positive, so we are not considering it. 0 by 1, that is positive, we are not considering it. 1 by 3 minus 1 by 3, so that we have to consider it. So the next one is 1 by 3 divided by minus 1 by 3, and the first one is minus 7, second one is minus 1. Which one is the maximum? Now minus 1. So we have to choose that column, and that one is our key column. So that one is our key row, that one is our key column. So the value at the point of intersection is minus 1 by 3, and that one is our key element. And which one variable is for the incoming? Now that one is S2. So here S1 is the outgoing vector and S2 is the incoming vector. So let's proceed to the next table. The same thing happens here. As S2 is the incoming vector and S1 is the outgoing, we are replacing S1 with S2. Now that is our key row, that is our key element. So we have to divide each and every element in the key row by the key element. For the first one, minus 1 by 3, just let minus 1 by 3 divided by minus 1 by 3, result is 1. Minus 1 by 3 divided by minus 1 by 3, result is 1. 0 by minus 1 by 3, result is 0. 1 by minus 1 by 3, result is minus 3, and the last one must be 1. And we all know, according to the simplex, that we have to calculate that value as 0. And for the remaining row we have to find the cell values same as like the previous one. So what should be the key ratio for that one thing? Now that one must be minus 1 by 3 divided by minus 1 by 3. That means that one by that one. So the key ratio is here, that one is 1. So let's check for that thing here. So that one is just like whatever we have to do. Just here, suppose 2 by 3, that one, minus, given here minus 1 by 3, minus 1 by 3 into key ratio, that one is 1 here. So the result is 2 by 3 plus 1 by 3 or 1. Next one the same thing, so that is 1. Let's check for that one. 1 minus 0 into key ratio 1, so the result is 1. That one 0 minus 1 into key ratio 1, result is minus 1, and obviously that one is 0. Now for the S2, the coefficient was 0, that is our CB. For X2, the coefficient was minus 1. Now ZJ, that is 0 into 1 plus minus 1 into minus 1, that is minus 1. 0 into 0 plus minus 1 into 1, that one is, sorry, that must be minus 1. Next one, that is 0 into minus 3, that means 0. Minus 1 into minus 1, that is 1. And finally 0 into 1 plus minus 1 into 0, that one is 0, and Zj minus Cj, that is minus 1. Here the Cj was minus 3, so minus 1 minus minus 3, the result is 2. Okay, now here that one is minus 1 and here that one is minus 1, so the result is here, that is 0. Finally minus 1, that one minus, the coefficient was 0, so that is 1, and 0, the coefficient was 0 here, so that is 0. So now all the Zj minus Cj are positive. Now look at the xb. Now all the xb are also positive. So that is our n table. So what should be the result? Since all Zj minus Cj greater than equal to 0 and xb also are greater than equal to 0, an optimum basic feasible solution has been reached or obtained, and according to that there is no x1, so the result of x1 is equal to 0, x2, so the result is 1, and maximization of z1 is equal to the result as we have found minus 1, so that is our minus 1. But that is not the problem. The problem was based on the minimization. So the final answer is minimization of z as maximization of z1 is equal to minus 1, so that must be plus 1, and x1 is equal to 0 and x2 is equal to 1, and that is the way dual simplex method occurs.